You ever look at your to-do list and suddenly feel the urge to fake your own death? Move to the mountains and raise goats named after your exes? No? Just me? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. But if you've ever stared at your responsibilities like they were written in ancient Greek and you were supposed to just handle them, congratulations. You might be burned out or on your way there. And here's the catch. Burnout rarely shows up with fireworks. It doesn't tap you on the shoulder and go, "Hey, buddy, just a heads up. This week's gonna break you." Nah, burnout's sneakier than that. It doesn't kick the door down. It leaks in, quiet, patient, like a phone battery draining slowly while you scroll, thinking everything's fine, until suddenly it's dead. And so are your social skills and your motivation and your will to answer one more Slack message that says, "Quick question." At first, I didn't even see it happening. I was doing what everyone else was doing, keeping up, grinding, smiling, pretending the 27 open tabs in my brain weren't all crashing at once. I was productive, efficient, crushing it, as the LinkedIn warriors say, until I wasn't. But it didn't crash all at once. It was little things. I stopped replying to messages, not because I didn't care, but because even typing LOL felt like assembling IKEA furniture with my teeth. I avoided calls like they were IRS agents. I skipped plans. I'd stare at the ceiling for an hour instead of making dinner. And I told myself it was just a phase. Just tired, just busy, just whatever excuse helped me avoid the truth. Which was this: I was running on fumes. Except even the fumes had pieced out. Now listen, I know some people think burnout looks dramatic. Crying in the shower, screaming in a pillow, melting down at work. And sure, sometimes it does, but more often, burnout is boring. It's that blank stare at your screen. It's rereading the same sentence 12 times. It's waking up tired no matter how long you slept. It's losing interest in things you used to love, like cooking or texting back or being alive. It's laughing at a joke and realizing you haven't genuinely laughed in weeks. Burnout isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just gray, a slow dimming of the lights. You know when it really hit me? One day I opened a bag of chips, my favorite ones, okay? The spicy kind that make you question your life choices, and I felt nothing. Not joy, not excitement, not even mild hunger. And I remember thinking, wow, not even artificially flavored happiness can save me now. That's when I knew. Something inside me had quietly checked out. So, of course, like any emotionally intelligent adult, I ignored it. For months. I tried to work harder, sleep less, push through, because that's what we're taught, right? If you feel like you're falling behind, just go faster. If your brain's a mess, organize your apps. Buy a new planner. Watch productivity YouTube. Gaslight yourself into thinking burnout is just a vibe. But then I met this older guy at a cafe. Big beard, smelled like eucalyptus and deep metaphors. He looked like he knew things. The kind of man who's definitely owned a canoe and made peace with mortality. We started talking, and I told him I was just tired all the time. And he said something that rearranged my brain cells. He looked at me and said, "You're not tired. You're soul tired. There's a difference." And I sat there like someone hit me with a TED Talk brick to the face. Soul tired. That's not the kind of tired sleep fixes. That's not about REM cycles or better coffee. That's about being drained at a level no spa day can reach. He told me this story. Stay with me here. It's about a pot. A pot on a stove. The water inside is boiling, and you're so busy doing other things that you don't notice when the water runs out. Then the pot starts to burn. It doesn't make a big scene, it just quietly gets ruined. And if you leave it long enough, the heat warps it. It's still a pot, but it'll never be the same. Then he looked at me, dead serious, and said, "You're the pot." And I wanted to be like, "Sir, that's a little rude." But I got it. I was so busy trying to prove I could handle the heat that I didn't realize I was boiling dry. And I know some of you watching feel this in your bones right now. You're waking up tired. You're pushing through every day like it's a war. You're pretending you're okay because if you stop pretending, everything might unravel. But let me say something that no productivity app will. You are not weak. You're not lazy. You're not falling behind. You are tired, deeply. And you need something more than sleep. You need space. You need slowness. You need moments of stillness that don't feel like guilt. You need to stop seeing rest as a reward for suffering and start seeing it as part of healing. So I tried something wild, radical, scandalous even. You might want to sit down for this one. I stopped. I just stopped. I gave myself permission to do absolutely nothing. Not in a fun, I'm on vacation in Bali, drinking out of a coconut kind of way. I stopped in the middle of the mess. In the middle of the unanswered emails, the half finished goals, the chores, the guilt. I stopped in the middle of life. And for once, I didn't try to earn it. First, it was a day, just one day, where I didn't try to improve, impress, or prove a single thing. No journaling, no productivity hacks, no morning routine that will change your life forever. Just me, existing. I stared at a wall for 30 minutes, not metaphorically, like actually stared at drywall. You'd be surprised how peaceful beige can be when your brain is fried. I laid on the floor for no reason. I sat in silence until it got loud, then quiet again. I watched clouds move like I was 5 years old, and nothing else mattered. It felt weird. It felt wrong. And then, strangely, it felt like relief. Then I tried a weekend. A whole weekend without planning, achieving, optimizing. I turned off notifications. I let texts sit unanswered without spiraling into guilt. I didn't catch up on anything. I didn't try to be better. I let the dishes pile. I ate cereal for dinner. Twice, I took naps, and just because I was tired. Not because I deserved it. Not because I finished something first. Just because I needed one. I walked, slowly, not for cardio, not for steps. Not because some app told me I should. I walked with no destination. Just listened to my feet on the pavement and let my brain float. I stopped counting things. Calories, hours, tasks, wins. I stopped managing myself like I was an employee. I stopped trying to be enough in every single moment. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something other than pressure. And then, the world began to shift. Not dramatically, not all at once, but gently, like fog lifting after a long night. I started to notice things again. The texture of the air in the morning, the way the light hit the curtains. I heard birds chirping, and I didn't think, ugh, emails? I laughed at a stupid meme and didn't analyze whether it was a productive use of time. I ate a slice of pizza and tasted every bite without planning my next meal or criticizing myself. That part of me, the real me, the one with curiosity and joy and weird little thoughts, that version started to come back. And listen, I get it. That kind of rest sounds simple, but it's not easy. Because we live in a world that sells anxiety dressed as ambition, a world that tells you to grind harder when you're already ground into dust. We've been trained to fear idleness, to fill every gap with noise, every breath with effort. Rest feels like rebellion, like you're cheating on capitalism with your own nervous system. But what if being off isn't laziness? It's wisdom. What if your exhaustion isn't a flaw to fix, but a message to hear? What if your body, your brain, your spirit, what if they're not broken? What if they're just begging you to slow down long enough to remember yourself? Because you are not your output. You're not your calendar. You're not your inbox. You're not the number of unread messages or the goals you didn't finish. You're a living, breathing being. You laugh, you love, you feel, and your value, your actual worth, has nothing to do with how much you accomplish while ignoring your own needs. So yeah, burnout didn't hit me like an explosion. It leaked in, quietly, through the cracks in my people-pleasing, in the space between I'm fine and I can't do this anymore. It crept into the corners of my always-on mindset. until I didn't even recognize the silence as a signal. But healing? Healing leaks in too, even slower, even softer. It whispers. It doesn't shout. It returns in fragments, one breath at a time, one moment when you laugh and mean it, one song that moves you, one afternoon where you forget to be useful and remember what it means to just be. And if you're there right now, burned out, hollowed out, wondering if you'll ever feel light again, I want you to hear this like it's just for you. You are not broken. You're not weak. You're not behind. You are the pot. But the heat doesn't get to win. Take yourself off the stove. Let your soul cool. Let joy wander back in like a friend who never really left, just waited patiently at the door. And please remember, even the most worn out pot can still hold soup. It just needs a little time, a little care, a little softness. You don't have to be fixed. You just have to be held, even if it's by your own arms. Even if it starts with 5 minutes of sitting in the quiet and remembering you exist. That's the message. That's the real secret nobody profits off. You were never meant to run on empty. You were meant to live full, full of color, of sound, of weird jokes and belly laughs and quiet joy, of being tired and resting without guilt, of starting over and over and over again as many times as it takes. So maybe today you start there. Sit down, breathe deep, drink some water, do nothing. Seriously, doctor, nothing. Let your body sigh, let your brain be quiet. Let your heart wander back to you. Because yeah, burnout might have drained you, but hope? Hope is sneaky too. And I promise you this, it's already finding its way in.